last class, we studied about the plant tissues. So, about the meristematic tissue and the complex permanent tissue. About the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. So, in the permanent tissue, we studied about the simple permanent tissue and also about the parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now, next we will move to the complex permanent tissue. So, complex permanent tissue, these are made up of more than one type of the cell. These are made up of more than one type of cells, and these are mainly conducting in the function, and these are hence they are called as conducting tissues. Hence they are also called as conducting tissue, or they are also called as vascular tissue. So complex permanent tissues, they are made up of more than one type of the cell. They may be 2, they may be 3, or they may be the 4. More than one type of the cell. These cells are mainly conducting in the function, like conduction of water and the food. So they are also called as a conducting tissue and the vascular tissue. These complex permanent tissues are of two types. One is xylem and the second one is phloem. So already in your lower classes you have studied about the xylem and the phloem. Can anybody tell what is xylem? What is the main function of the xylem? Yes, these are water conducting tissue. And what is phloem? What is the function of the phloem? Yes, it is a food conducting tissue. Now, in the xylem, as I said that these tissues are made up of more than one type of the cell. So, xylem is made up of 4 types of the cell. Those are tracheids, vessels, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. So xylem is a dead conducting tissue. It is a dead conducting tissue and made up of 4, and it consisting of 4 different types of the cell. One is tracheids, vessels, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. Children, you have to remember what are the cells of the xylem. Come to the phloem. So phloem is a food conducting tissue. See here, in the xylem we know that, as I said, it is a water the water and the minerals from the roots and gives to the stem and then to the leaves. Phloem is a food conducting tissue, supplies the food from the leaves to all the other parts of the plant. The xylem is having the 4 different types of the cells, tracheids, vessels, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma, whereas the phloem is made up of the living cells, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. So these cells are very important. You must have to remember which cells are present in the xylem and which different types of the cells are present in the xylem and present in the phloem. So up to now we studied about the plant tissue. Now let us move to the animal tissue. So animal tissues are of the 4 types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. So animal tissues are again for 4 types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and the nervous tissue. Now first we will see about the epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue, these tissues are generally present on the body surfaces. Generally these tissues are present on the body surfaces either externally or the internally. What? So epithelial, the general characteristic features of epithelial tissue, these are usually present on the body surfaces either externally or the internally, and all the cells of these tissues are rest in a basement membrane. The cells, all the cells, whatever the cells will be there, these cells will rest on a membrane, and this membrane is called as a basement membrane. And generally the nucleus is present at the center or at the base of the cell. Okay, so now let us see about the types of the epithelial tissue. So generally on the shape of the cells, these epithelial tissues are divided into squamous epithelium tissue, cuboidal epithelium tissue, columnar epithelial tissue and the ciliated epithelium tissue. So children, what I told right now, so where these epithelial tissues are present, generally they are present on the body surfaces either externally or the internally, and all the cells will rest on a membrane, and these membranes are called as this membrane is called as the basement membrane. And the nucleus, the location of the nucleus is generally at the center or at the base of the cells. So depending upon the in the shape and the nucleus is present at the center. These are cuboidal in the shape and these cells rest on the basement membrane. So what is cuboidal epithelium? It is a single layer of cuboidal shaped cells present on the basement membrane. These cells are mainly, these cuboidal epithelium tissue is mainly present in the salivary glands and also in the thyroid gland. And these tissues are mainly secretion. They secrete some kind of the juices. So the main function of the cuboidal epithelium is the secretion. Next, we will move to the columnar epithelium or cuboidal epithelial tissue. The name itself suggests that the cells are column-like or the cells are pillar shape like this. The cells are generally the pillar shaped or the column-like. The nucleus is generally present at the base. Generally, the nucleus is present at the base. These columnar epithelium tissues are generally present in the stomach and in the intestine and helps in the absorption. Now, move to the ciliated epithelium tissue. So, ciliated epithelium tissues, they are just like they may be cuboidal in the shape or they may be the columnar in the shape. But the difference is that these ciliated epithelium tissue are having a hair-like structures, and those hair-like structures are called as the cilia. They are called as what? The cilia. So here the ciliated epithelium, so they may be, sometimes they may be cuboidal in the shape or they may be the column-like shape, but these cells are having the hair-like structure and these are called as the cilia, and these cilia mainly responsible for moving. It helps in the movement of the food. For example, these ciliated epithelium tissues are generally, so these ciliated epithelial tissues are generally present in the trachea. They are generally present in the trachea or in the windpipe. So let us see one more time. So epithelial tissues are generally present on the body surfaces, either externally or the internally, and usually they are of a single layer. Based upon the shapes of the cells, these are classified into squamous epithelium, then cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and the ciliated epithelium. So squamous epithelium, see when you see this squamous epithelium tissues, it will just give the appearance of the floor. It gives just the appearance of the floor at your home. Here the cells are irregular in the shape, and these cells are resting on a membrane which is called as the basement membrane. And these cells are usually present in the mouth or in the inner lining of the blood vessels. Now come to the cuboidal. So the name itself indicates that they are cuboidal or cube. The cells are cuboidal in the shape and the nucleus is present at the center, and the main location of the cuboidal epithelial cell, it is present in the absorption. And come to the ciliated epithelium. So the cells are either cuboidal in the shape or they may be column-like, but they are possessing the structures, the hair-like structures, which is called as the cilia, and these are present in the trachea or in the windpipe.
Okay.
Now, next we move to the connective tissue. So, connective tissues, so the name itself suggests that these are the tissues which are connecting one tissue to the other tissues in the body. And generally, more than 30% of our body weight is mainly due to the connective tissues. And these tissues are also called as a joining tissues. These are further classified into connective tissue proper, skeletal tissue, and the fluid connective tissue. So, in the connective tissue proper, again we are studying about the areolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue, tendon and ligaments. And in the skeletal tissue, again there are of the two types, cartilage and the bone tissue. And in the fluid connective tissue, we are going to study about the blood and lymph. See, one more time, the connective tissue, these are generally connect the one tissues to the other tissues, and it's also called as a joining tissue. And more than the 30% of our body weight is mainly due to the connective tissue. These connective tissue are of three types: connective tissue proper, skeletal tissue, and fluid connective tissue. In the connective tissue, again there are areolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue, tendon and ligaments. In the skeletal connective tissue, again there are two types, cartilage and the bone. In the fluid connective tissue, there are two types, blood and lymph. Now let us see about the connective tissue proper. Okay, now in connective tissue proper, there are areolar connective tissue. Now in the areolar connective tissue, so this is the most abundant connective tissue which is present in our body. It is usually present under the skin, and these tissues are having the fibers like this one. These are having the fibers. These are the fibers, and these are elastic in the nature, so that easily we can stress our, or we can take out the skin like this one. Because why it is possible? Because of the areolar connective tissue, and these tissues are also fills the space between the various organs. Hence, these tissues are also acts as a packing material. Next, we will move to the adipose tissue. So, adipose tissue, this is the specialized connective tissue which stores the fat. This is the specialized connective tissue which stores the fat, and the cells which stores the fat are called as the adipocytes. These tissue generally, since it stores the fat, whenever there is a starvation or when you remains hungry for a longer period, at that time these adipose tissue or the stored fat will be broken down into the glucose, and it fulfills the requirement of the energy. And since it is present below the skin, it acts as a insulating layer. And generally all the organs, as you know that all the organs are generally protected by a fatty layer, and that fatty layer is nothing but the adipose tissue. So where these adipose tissues are present? So adipose tissues are generally present beneath the bone. What? They connect the muscle to the bones. And these tendons are mainly consist of white fibrous tissue. Ligaments. So ligaments, these are also a fibrous connective tissue, but these ligaments are connecting bone to the bone. So here generally in the joints you are having the ligaments. When you are having, when they are connecting bone to the bone, it means that these ligaments, they will reduce the friction between the bones. The main function of the ligament is to reduce the friction between the bones, and these are mainly consist of yellow fibrous connective tissue. See, one more time, the connective tissue proper are of the four types: alveolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue, tendon, and the ligaments. Alveolar connective tissue. So alveolar connective tissue generally is present under the skin, and it also fills the space between the various organs, hence it acts as a packing material. Adipose tissue, so it is mainly, it is a specialized connective tissue to store the fat. It is a reserve of the fat which fulfills the requirement of the energy when during the starvation. And these cells also acts as a insulating layer and also protect the internal organs, because these tissues are present beneath the skin and also present in the internal as a lining of the internal organ. So tendons, these are the fibrous connective tissues which connect muscle to the bone, and they are consist of a white fibrous connective tissue. So ligaments, these are the connective tissues which joins bone to the bone. Okay, and these consist of a yellow fibrous connective tissue. So generally in your exams they might, or it is very common question, they will ask the difference between the tendons and the ligaments. So tendon, how you will remember? It connects what? It connects muscle to bone, that is MTB, muscle to bone. And ligament, it connects the bone to bone, that is BTB. Okay, ligaments connects the muscle to the bone, and the ligament connects the bone to the bone. It consisting of a white fibrous tissue, and it consisting of the yellow fibrous connective tissue. So this is the difference between the tendon and the ligaments, and this is the most likely question to be asked in the examination. Next we will move to the skeletal tissue. So generally these skeletal tissues are made up of, they are usually a hard connective tissue which gives the supporting nose, or it is present at the ear, the outer ear, which is called as the pinna, right? So these cartilaginous tissues are generally present at the tip of the nose. See, when you touch your nose, you will feel that it is a hard, it is a firm, but at the same time it is elastic. It is a elastic in the nature, and that is the reason that I can bend my ear. Why I can bend the ear pinna? Because the cartilaginous tissue is present. Here the matrix is hard, but at the same time this matrix is filled by the fluid spaced cells. That is the reason that these fluid spaced cells gives the elasticity. Got my point? See here, the cartilage, it is having a solid matrix. Okay, it is a firm, and at the same time it is elastic in the nature. Why it is elastic in the nature? Because these matrix are filled by the fluid spaced cells. That's why, and this will give the elasticity to the tissue. And these are present at the tip of the nose. They are also present at the ear pinna. And also these cartilaginous tissues are present in the trachea. Might be you have remembered while studying the respiratory system. In the trachea, this trachea is lined by the C-shaped circular rings, right? And these C-shaped circular rings are made up of the cartilaginous tissue. And these cartilaginous tissue, what it does? It helps the trachea, or it prevents the trachea from the collapsing. Due to the presence of this cartilage, this trachea remains straight. See, these C-shaped rings which are made up of the cartilaginous tissue, they prevent the collapsing of the trachea. So where the cartilaginous tissues are present? It is present at your tip of the nose, at the ear pinna, and also in the trachea. So what are the function of the skeletal tissue? So this skeletal tissue provides the elasticity and also supports the body. Okay. Now next we will move to the another type of a skeletal tissue called bone. See here, the bone. In the bone also, it is made up of a hard connective tissue. The matrix is solid and the cells are present. And the cells which are present in these matrix are called as the osteoblast. They are called as what? Osteoblast. The cells are called as osteoblast. This matrix of the bone is also contains some of the inorganic salts like calcium chloride, magnesium fluoride, right? These inorganic salts are also present in the matrix, and these inorganic salts are present in the concentric circular layer. These are present in the concentric circular layer, right? And this concentric circular layer is called as the lamellae. It is called as the lamellae. And these concentric layers are surrounded by an cavity, by a canal, and this canal is called as the Haversian canal. The long bones, generally the long bones are hollow, and this cavity is called as the marrow cavity, or a bone or a marrow cavity, and this marrow cavity is filled by a fluid is called as the bone marrow. It is called as what? Bone marrow. And the RBCs and the WBCs are arise, or the RBC and the WBCs are produced in the bone marrow. So the function, what is the function of the bone, children? Yes, the bone, it forms the endoskeleton of the vertebrates, or it is a supportive, or it provides the mechanical support to the body. Okay, what are the functions of the bones? So the bones provides the framework to the body and also protect the internal organs like heart and the lungs, and also a reservoir for the inorganic salts like a calcium phosphate and the calcium carbonate, right? Now, next we will move to the next type of a connective tissue called fluid connective tissue. So in the fluid connective tissue, the matrix is mainly in the form of a fluid or in the form of a liquid. So instead of a matrix here, there is a ground substance called as a plasma. So these fluid connective tissue are of the two types, the blood and the lymph. So blood is a fluid connective tissue which is flowing from your head to the toes. What is the main function of the blood? It transports all the essential substances, all the essential nutrients, right? The waste product, the gases from one part of the body to the other part of the body, right? So these blood tissues are having the two components. One is the solid component and another one is the liquid components. So in the solid components, the blood is having RBC, WBC and the platelets. So RBCs are the red blood cells. What is the function of the red blood cells? Yes, they transport the oxygen, or they supplies the oxygen to each and every cell of the body. What is the function of the WBC? So WBC, or white blood cells, they gives the immunity. So nowadays, I think all of you are aware about the immunity due to the coronavirus, right? So these immunity is given by the WBC, like white blood cells, and the blood platelets, they help in the coagulation of the blood. The another component of this one, the liquid component, is the plasma, which acts as a ground substance, right? And it is liquid. That's why the nature of the blood is fluid, or the nature of the blood is liquid. That's why it can flow from your head to the toes. Now, the blood is red in the color, right? Why it is red in the color? Because it is having a red color pigment called hemoglobin. Whereas in the lymph, the composition of the lymph is the same as that of blood, but the only difference is it is colorless, or it is white in the color, and the main function of the lymph is to give the immunity to the body. So dear children, up to now we have studied about the animal tissues, and in the animal tissues we studied about the epithelial tissue and the connective tissue. So in the epithelial tissue we studied about the different types, and also in the connective tissue we studied about the different types of the connective tissue and their functions. So in the next class we will study the rest of the connective tissue.